Show. Today is August 9th, 2022. Let me start by saying that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. We'll be talking about the MetaMaterials Q2 earnings report, stock symbol MMAT. This is my initial reaction. My reaction will probably evolve over time, but this is what I initially think. Tomorrow morning is the webcast, and we'll get some more info by then. This is George Pelicaris' retweet of the MetaMaterials Q2 fiscal year 2022 announcement. As you can see, the links are there, and check out his tweet. He tells you about the earnings report, and he goes on to talk about the shareholder letter, and as well as the live webcast. And tomorrow morning in the live webcast, there was a question. I hope there'll be some update on the dividend. Thank you, RA, Waco 007, for the question to George. Investors have every right to know, please. George responded, first item on the agenda for tomorrow. So we'll be hearing something about the MMTLP / Series A preferred shares / NextBridge hydrocarbons / spinout / dividend from MetaMaterials. So that should be pretty cool. So I won't spend too much time talking about the dividend, but we'll talk about the rest of the earnings report. So so let's go. So this is the shareholder letter. I'll be going over that first, because the shareholder letter basically says what the CEO thinks is important to shareholders. So he talks about progress on multiple fronts, adding new technologies to the platform. And two recent acquisitions open up a $5 billion plus TAM in battery materials. Okay, that's good. That's big potential markets there. Where we offer increased safety and efficiency. We're attracting world-class talent, bringing in decades of experience from multiple larger organizations, adding production capacity in Quebec, and our new 68,000 square foot headquartered in Nova Scotia and new development facilities in Greece and Maryland. Our IP portfolio is 3 times larger than it was a year ago, securing our competitive position and helping to forge new strategic alliances. So good job. He's expanded out MetaMaterials, and he's trying to break into the $5 billion plus TAM market. I hope he succeeds. That would be a good thing. Just getting a small portion of that $5 billion TAM, total available market, would be gigantic. Okay, that would be very cool. Next, he goes over the financial results, which is what I typically am interested in the most. What he writes in the shareholder letter is, in Q2 of 2022, revenue grew 432% year over year and 12% quarter over quarter to about $3.3 million versus $0.06 million in Q2 of 2021 and about $3 million in Q1 of 2022. So the development contract with a confidential G10 central bank accounted for most of our revenue. We will be developing the world's first nano-optic material security feature and the highest volume metamaterial application in history. Printing these nano-featured materials in kilometer scale and at low cost has never been done before by any company. We are doubling production capacity to support our growth and targeting a multi-year production contract. Meta is pursuing multi-year, multi-million-dollar contracts with several OEMs across key market verticals. That's what I want to hear. Okay, if you're pursuing multi-year, multi-million-dollar contracts across several OEMs, across several key verticals, that's good. As of 6/30/2022, cash and cash equivalents totaled $55.3 million, including $500,000 in restricted cash. Please visit the investor section of our website for complete financial statements and management discussion and analysis. Okay, so they're targeting several verticals and they're targeting several OEMs. Okay, excellent, good news. For their revenue in Q1 of 2022, that was $3 million. In Q2 of 2022, that's $3.3 million. So that's a small increase, about 10% increase. And most of that, I believe, is coming from a company called Nanotech Security, which they bought last year in October 5th, I believe, for about $90 million Canadian. This is Nanotech Security, and if we see, they completed the acquisition, which is a leader in development of secure and visually memorable nano-optic security features that provide anti-counterfeiting solutions. So this is where this is coming from, right? So they spent $90 million to buy 90 million Canadian to buy nanotech securities, and as a result, they have some good revenue. Okay, excellent. They have 3.3 million in revenue, and excellent. Now let's see what else. They are doubling production capacity to support growth and targeting a multi-year production contract. Doubling production capacity basically means they're going to be doubling production, which means they'll be doubling sales, hopefully, right? Why would you double production if you're not doubling sales? So you're doubling production, you could be doubling sales, and then that means that you're also going to be doubling revenue, maybe, right? Maybe 6.6 million next quarter, who knows? Hard to say. But that brings up the question that's first on my mind is when you talk about expenses, how much money are you actually spending to get those expenses? What's the burn rate? Okay. And will metamaterial need more cash, if their burn rate is greater than their income? Let's see. Next, they talk about battery materials. It's the fastest growing market we address. Excellent. This is a good vertical for them to be in. They're looking at performance, stability, and in particular safety. So safety is a key thing that metamaterials looks to be providing. They show a picture of a nail penetration test, and they also show a lithium-ion anode made with the plasma fusion technology. Okay, those are two good pictures, and they are different from other solutions on the market, and will make lithium-ion batteries safer for all applications, from automotive to consumer to medical, as well as aerospace verticals. There are two key components, separators and current collectors, used in every lithium-ion battery, regardless of chemistry. Okay, so the key thing that metamaterials will bring to the table in the current battery market is safety, and that's excellent. So good market analysis from George Pelicaris. Close some deals, sign some deals, close some deals. Right, let's make some money. Next thing. Is they talk about the NPOR, nanoporous ceramic separators. And they talk about their technology. They're showing an 80% weight reduction. Excellent. They have improved safety and retard thermal runaway. Excellent. They've improved sustainability. Good. It doesn't harm the environment to make it. All great things, right? And in this case, they got excellent project funding. They got a multi-million pound grant from the UK government, it sounds like. So, excellent. Great. So, that's what I like to see, right? Now, they're in the cost reduction phase, which means this is the last phase before people go to full-on production manufacturing. This means that there could be additional revenue coming in. Hopefully, there will be. Okay, that's a big deal. We want to see additional revenue. Okay. Next, they talk about the nano-optic security features. Now, this was talked about in the first paragraph, if we remember, about the G10 central bank and all that, right? So this is a company that they bought, Nanotech Securities, for 90 million Canadian, and this is the technology they have. This is the stripe that's going in money, apparently. And the color optic stripe incorporates 5 billion nano features in full color, 3D motion, and vibrant imagery. Excellent. Next we talk about the Pleasanton facility and NanoWeb, which is the transparent antenna and transparent reflector for 5G applications and for RF applications, right? Now they do a demonstration. They've done a demonstration with a transparent microwave, a transparent window into a microwave oven, and providing excellent shielding. And you're still safe, even though you've got this big hole. It looks like, which you can look through and see, but there's a piece of glass there, and that piece of glass has a nanoweb technology on there. Excellent. And they can also use this nanoweb technology, of course, on cars and various other things, right? Transparent antennas, de-ice, defog, and EMI for sensors. So excellent. They've done a good job with the Pleasanton facility. I want to see them sign and close some deals and get some production and sales in there. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. It would be good to get some sales. Now, let's see. Our experienced design and production teams are developing in-house nanoweb origination and recombination to support the scale-up to 600 millimeter web with roll-to-roll production. Okay, so they're looking at 600 millimeter roll-to-roll production, which would be good, right? That's like a 24. That's about 24 inches for those in the English system, or so. 300 millimeters is about 12 inches. Think of 300 millimeters as a record, basically, right? So yeah, so good. They're developing roll-to-roll technology, and they're lowering the cost per square meter. Hopefully we can see them actually roll this into production soon. It looks like they're doing roll-to-roll production. Looks like the roll-to-roll production line is now up and running and producing 5G reflector materials. Okay, so good news. Next, we talk about augmented reality. They signed, it looks like they have an MOU with PPG, which they talked about on May 31st. The MOU means Memorandum of Understanding, and basically, PPG is it's a $30 billion market cap company that's making $4.50 per share. So it's a profitable company. They're worth a lot of money, and they're making money. And they're even paying out a dividend. They're making so much money, about 2% per share. So not bad. Okay, good. So they're working with PPG, company that's making money. Their collaboration focuses on developing dynamic dimming functionality of Meta's NanoWeb transparent conductive film combined with PPG's electrochromic gels and Meta's AR Fusion platform. Basically eyeglasses, right? And they want to be able to, let's see what they say further. The collaboration aims to optimize PPG's electrochromic gel in combination with PPG's UV curable optical monomers instead of polymers, I guess it's a monomer, to deliver enhanced dynamic dimming functionality for XR eyewear. These materials are being combined for the first time and are expected to lead to more cost-effective and sustainable manufacturing, benefiting all points in the supply chain from manufacturer to consumer. So good. They're working with PPG. Let's hope something comes of it, right? The other thing they're doing is they did a demonstration of the world's most transparent antenna in prescription lenses for extended reality applications. Basically, the antenna for your VR gaming can be in the eyeglasses, in the lenses themselves, and you can look through it and not even be aware of it. Okay, excellent. Make some deals, sign some deals, make some money. That's my take on it. I'd love to see them do that. I'm a shareholder. I want to see them succeed. Okay. And so they have NanoWeb antenna in the lens. Great demonstration. Make some money. Okay. Now they have key executive additions. They've added some people. Great. And they also have a whole bunch more patents. They have 450 active utility and design patents, of which 288 patents are issued. Patents are expensive. They're good. They give you a monopoly to produce something. And Metamaterials announces the first granted U.S. patent for non-invasive glucose sensing system. That could be big. I would love to see them move forward with that, but I don't know enough about how long that will take to bring to market. It sounds to me, I think, like it might take some time. It was announced in May. Maybe they're closer to this than I'm aware of. But if they are, please tell us more than just a quick blurb in your shareholder letter. Give us some details as to how soon you're going to bring this to market. Should be good. They also talk about being one of the 50 fastest growing sustainable companies in Canada. Basically, that means that there's a pool of 5,115 Canadian companies, of which 1,100 are public. And the year-to-year revenue growth percentage has to be, is obviously very, very high in order to be in the top 50. Okay, so that's great. This is mostly if they need to raise additional revenue by selling additional shares to companies like BlackRock and things like that, right? I think it's great in terms of an ESG standpoint. They check off all the check boxes that are needed in the ESG field for ETFs and big Wall Street firms like BlackRock to buy them. Great, but we'd like to see them pull some revenue soon. That's the main thing I'm thinking of. So my main thing is I'd like to see them make some revenue, and the reason is I had a look, is their cash position is $55 million, right? And I wanted to know what their burn rate is. I don't know what their burn rate is. And to find out the burn rate, I have to look in the actual earnings report. So we look at the filing on the SEC. We go down to the income statement, and we look at the June 30th 3-month ended and the June 30th 6-month ended, and we see that they have a net loss of $21 million almost in 3 months ended June 30th, and about a $40 million net loss, $39 million net loss in 6 months ended June 30th. So that means to me that they have a burn rate of about $20 million per quarter for the last 2 quarters. And that's a little bit concerning to me, because that means that they can only last 2 or 3 quarters at this rate, right? With this current burn rate. And what that means to me is they'll either need to reduce the burn rate or increase revenue, or do another equity offering, which means shareholder dilution, or start taking on debt. Okay, there are 4 choices, and I didn't even list the taking on debt, but that is another choice, right? So the question is, can they reduce the burn rate? Where is this burn coming from? Well, if we look at where the burn's coming from, it seems to be coming from G&A and R&D, right? General and administrative and research and development. And in my mind, they're a small growing company, and they've just grown, they've started adding a lot of people. So I don't know that they can actually start, it's not clear to me that they can actually lower salaries, right? G&A, general and administrative. And it's not clear that they can reduce on R&D. They need to be doing R&D because, they need to develop these technologies and actually sign some deals, get some money, right? That's the deal. So now we do know that I do believe their burn rate will decrease, right? Because they have a revenue increase of 3.3 million, quarter over quarter, I believe. And it's possible because, if we look at the nanotech production doubling, which is what they mentioned earlier, doubling production means basically you're going to be doubling your sales, which means you're going to be doubling your revenue. And that could drop, and that's an additional $3.3 million per quarter, right? So you could drop the burn rate down to maybe 17 million per quarter, and that'll give you 3 to 4 quarters instead of 2 to 3 quarters. So you get an extra quarter out of it, I think, right? But the key thing is major deals, increased revenue. If you can do that, then we can leave your burn rate alone and not care too much. Let's see if we can increase revenue. That would be the best solution, I think, right? And that's it for metamaterials. That's it for my take on it. Now, about their oil and gas assets, right? I had to look in there, and I didn't really see anything change in their last 10Q. I didn't really see anything change from what they said a while back, right? But there's some slight change in the wording, though, right? But for instance, over here, we see this is the risk related to the oil and gas assets held for sale. Why are they talking about that they may be unable to pay dividends to holders of our Series A preferred stocks? Because when I look at this, it talks about a sale expiration date. And I think that sale expiration date was January 31st of 2021. So I think that passed. So it's not really relevant for them to say that they may not be able to pay those dividends to the Series A preferred shareholders, because they didn't. Because it's not really relevant. What I'm thinking is that if they left this text in there, it means they were probably working with someone to sell the oil and gas assets up until the time they wrote this. So they wanted to leave this in there because they're thinking, oh, yeah, we're working with a major oil producer regarding the sale of the Oro Grande assets. We may or may not be able to sell them, right? They didn't, they left in the part about the sale expiration date, which was a while back. This is where that text originally came from. So they're probably working with someone, I'm thinking, right? So reading between the lines here, right? The other thing I've seen is that, they also have this text in here: may not be able to successfully complete the anticipated O&G asset disposition on favorable terms at all, or which could adversely affect our financial condition and result of operations. We are in the process of selling or spinning out the oil and gas assets. Now, last I read, they were spinning it out. But now they're saying selling or spinning it out. Now, maybe it's old text that they just copied and pasted in there or something, but I think that they're working with someone, and they were working with someone in order to still sell those oil and gas assets. So they were probably working on that, and they did not mention it to, it didn't occur to them that, gee, we have to keep mentioning this, right? So therefore, it's on their mind. Therefore, I think that they're working to sell their O&G assets. I think that's what's been causing the delays. I think people have been coming online saying, hey, we don't want to check it. We'd like to check out your oil and gas assets. Maybe multiple people have been coming online, and they have to schedule these people at different times to check out the oil and gas assets, So they'll take them on tours, show them drill results, this, that, whatever. But, you can't have ExxonMobil looking at the oil and gas assets at the same time that you have someone like ConocoPhillips looking at it. That would just be rude. So, or Occidental Petroleum. If all these guys are coming over to check out the oil and gas assets, right, then it could be that they're available and they're scheduling conflicts, and they're trying to get all the stuff to as many hands as possible. And that could be what was causing all of these delays, right? I mean, I don't think that they're just delaying selling the oil and gas assets for the sake of selling the oil and gas assets. I think they have several things that they're juggling. And so it's a difficult sale because there's, there could be 20 large potential buyers out there, right? And these assets are on land. They're not underwater. They're not in the Gulf of Mexico. They're not in the North Sea. Okay, they're on land in a friendly country called the United States of America in West Texas. They just have to be drilled and then pumped out. Pipeline. That's all you got to build. So it's not too bad. It's really not too bad. So there could be a lot of people there. But I am willing to wait until tomorrow, which is when George Pelicaris will be talking about this. He said it's the first thing he's going to be talking about. So, yeah. So that should be very cool. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is my take on the Q2 earnings report. I'm a shareholder. I want the best for the company. And I think the best thing for them would be is if they started selling, if they started increasing their revenue, get some more revenue in there. And then we don't have to worry about the burn rate so much because, if you're making money, then it doesn't matter how much you burn. Just make money. Make money as fast as possible. But you have 3 to 4 quarters probably, right? So there's some time. It's not as though, you can close the deals. You have time. There's about a year. Okay, there could be about a year you've got about a year of money, depending upon what your current burn rate is right now. But as a shareholder, I want the best for the company, and that's why I want them to make money. Okay. Anyway, that's my take on it. Talk to you later, and goodbye.